How's it going, everyone? This is Trick from Meta Smash, and I want to quickly let you guys know that I'm going to be hosting a Nail the Trick Combo Mastery Seminar. There's going to be over an hour of Nail the Trick content, so if you're interested, there'll be a link in the description. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So what is, I guess, what's the John? What's the John besides, I'm sorry, it's just a prank. It's just a prank.
No, you're good.
What's,
you're good. It's true. I'm 4'11". I have really small hands.
Okay.
And it's really hard to grip on the controller or do for example, if I were to play Pikachu or Pichu.
Okay.
Sometimes I do the wrong direction just because it doesn't go all the way to the right, for example, because
okay.
It's the difference between going right versus upper right, and it's the weirdest thing. I played this game long enough where I could feel it now, and it's kind of weird because when I play on Joy-Cons, it actually feels more flexible. I could actually play on it.
Okay.
Because it's a lot smaller. That actually fits my hands more than GameCube controllers. I don't know if you know anything that will help with stuff like that.
I guess, I don't know, I'd have to really see, because I've coached 11-year-old kids before. Unless you have a hand smaller than an 11-year-old boy, maybe.
You'd be surprised, man.
Maybe. I'm not going to write it off. I'm not going to say it's impossible. But if that is the case, and I don't know, because at least for me, I've seen little kids play guitar and do all these crazy stretches and they're 7 years old, right? Same kind of thing. And in the case of let's say for the GameCube controller, would you say that it's more so holding it that is the problem, or it's the inputs that you're missing because your hands are not stretching far enough? When you're holding it, are you almost up on top of the controller?
Yeah, I feel you know how they have that little the handle on the bottom?
Yep.
I have to kind of move it up more.
Okay.
More to the upper controller, but then it's awkward, an awkward angle.
So where's your ring finger when you're holding your controller?
It's underneath. It's underneath the handles.
And then your pinky's obviously behind that. Okay. And then, so if you put your hand on the controller and your middle finger on the L and R button, how far into the middle of the controller does your finger go, if that made any sense?
It's as close as I can, I guess.
So would you say your fingertip is on L and R, or is the middle of the knuckle is on L and R?
I feel it's let's say my index finger, I have to use the base. I can't use the tip. I have to use the base.
What do you mean by you have to use the base of closer to the palm?
Not the base, the closest to the palm, basically. I can't use the tip because then it gets too far for my thumb.
Gets too far for your thumb. So your thumb's too far down the controller, down the handles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to ask such a silly question.
No, this is totally fine. Here's the thing. There's no such thing as a silly question. If you're here for clarity, then that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
So Unfaded is suggesting a Smashbox. The thing about Smashbox is, I don't know, I don't know if that would really be better. The only thing that's better about a Smashbox, how do you feel about typing on the computer? Do you ever feel playing, literally typing just messages feels fine or weird or anything like that?
Feels totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you want to play on a Smashbox? Because it is technically more optimal than a controller. It is. Oh yeah, you can do a lot of very macro. What's it called? Yeah, macro inputs where you can it's not keybinds and hotkeys, but there's ways so you can hold a button so that you can walk for as simply as you'd like, so you're not accidentally running or accidentally I think there's macros so you can do short hops or full hops. There's all kinds of crazy macros that you can use. It's also more like a keyboard because your hands are flat on top, or playing the piano. It'd be more like that. I can say this at the very least. I'd way rather see you play on a Smashbox than play on Joy-Cons.
Okay.
Joy-Cons, even if it feels like it's better, you're trolling.
It's so funny. I'm not gonna lie. At that point, it's just
because here's the thing: Joy-Cons, they also have really bad stick drift, so you have to replace them.
They end up drifting.
Yeah, they're very cheap. It's very sad. If you're able to get a Smashbox, then sure. I've coached a good handful of players on Smashboxes before, and they love it, and they're quite good with them. So it's not it's impossible to learn. It's just different. You have a wireless GameCube controller as well, a Power A or something. It's tough because I'm just thinking back to when I was learning how to play guitar, and I 100% remember how painful it was. And I don't know if you're in pain at all, but trying to learn how to stretch or like stretching and playing just so I could do like in quotations normal things, it was not great, but it was worth it in the long run because you can't really get like a downscaled guitar. You can, but it's like a kid's guitar, right? So it's like it has like 17 frets versus 24 frets, and it doesn't sound nearly as good, and the quality of it as a whole is just much worse. So that would be like going down to a Joy-Con is what I'm saying. So I would say, I guess the other things, like for me, if I'm holding my GameCube controller, I don't really like grip it super hard. Like I don't have it all the way into the palm of my hand. I have it kind of like floating almost, if that makes sense. Like floating on my pinky and ring finger. And then I can move a little bit more freely with my thumbs. And if I have to adjust to move around, I can, versus being like really locked in and like way underneath with my ring and pinky finger. And now I am like in a weird position to like hit the X button or like go down to the C stick. I have to like bend my thumb back or something weird.
I like it gets to the point where like, even because I know people say you gotta use like C stick for tilts, like it's hard for me to reach down and use my C stick, so I just don't use C stick anymore because it hurts my thumb when I try to reach down there, and like as I try to reach my X and Y. Yeah, like it's really weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Also, we'll just get into this game. We don't have to play just yet. I just don't want the arena to close.
Yeah, you're good.
What was I gonna say? So what is your control scheme right now? Like
I have left is to grab and R is to shield.
Okay.
And then I have tap jump on because I got used to it over time.
Okay.
But I also use X and Y to do like short hops. That's about it. Not much change.
What's your Z button?
My Z button is to also grab in case like it slips.
Do you
or to shield. It's to grab. I didn't know that.
Okay, so you should switch your Z button to jump. If it's not your primary grab button, that's actually kind of lucky, because for basically everyone since the beginning of time, Z has always been grab, because back before you really couldn't change your control schemes. Right? In Smash 4 you could, but like if you have Z as jump, this is the thing. Like at least for me, if you have Z as jump, and then you have your thumb like down around the B button to like the C stick, like in that range, you don't really ever need to go from the C stick up to the X button or up to the Y button and do like a big jump. You can basically just float around A, B, and C. And for the most part, like when I'm playing, like I'm sure people have been watching, like when I'm doing stuff like this, for example, I'm realistically only using like two inputs or 3 inputs. It's my control stick, and then I have the C stick, and then I'm using like Z as jump. Right?
Okay.
So I'm like basically playing with like 3 buttons for the most part, or like the 2 sticks and 1 button. From time to time, I will go from like Z and Y to do an empty hop, like, or a short hop like this. So I'm pushing 2 buttons here. So you could be doing that, like if you wanted to do like the short hop stuff. Yeah, L as grab, you said, so that's totally fine as well. And then you have R as shield. I have the opposite, so L is shield for me and R is grab, but it doesn't really make a difference. If you're comfortable with what you have for that, then that's fine. But if you have shoulder buttons that you technically are not using at all, I highly recommend setting one of them to jump. So in this case, Z should be jump.
Do that afterwards.
Yeah.
So
okay.
like,
And then from there, do you have tilt stick on or smash stick?
tilt.
Okay, so that's good. So realistically, I would say that you don't really want tap jump on. It's not wrong. Like there are players that do play with it on. There's also players that play with smash stick as well too. But I don't know, like just overall, whether or not you're gonna be playing with a Smash or with a GameCube controller or playing with a Smash box, I still think that having the most optimal controls possible is definitely the best way to go. And just like being able to play more freely. In the case of that, it'd be like index finger on L, middle finger on R. Middle finger on R, index finger on Z, and then your thumb is basically 85% of the time on the C stick. And you don't have to go anywhere else. Can you reach that?
Yeah.
Is that like terrible?
No, it just feels different. Like I could see like my middle finger being on R, and then like L to grab. You know.
So
and then,
I would compare it very much so like typing on your keyboard, like staying on the home row, versus if you have like bad typing etiquette where you're typing with like one finger and moving around, or if you play a piano and you like cross under or over your thumb in a weird way, which you shouldn't do, right? So for me, it's like I don't ever want to do like claw grip where I like move my index finger down to the Y button, or like have to like, I don't know, use the index finger and the I don't know, I don't know how to do this. Like A and B, or like A and C, and like do like a weird like claw. I don't know if you can see on screen, but it'll come up eventually. Something like that, where I have like some really weird thing where my index finger is kind of like doing a lot of work. I'd rather just have it be on my thumb. Yeah, you don't want to do that if you can help it. That might be a decent solution for you. And then as far as like in this video, I'll talk about it too. What I was talking about, let me just try and do this in real time here. So I was talking about if you're playing and you're like this, so if you can see my camera, eventually it'll come up. Instead of being like this, having like your pinky and your ring finger way underneath like that, so like this. So having that situation, what I do is I play with my thumb, my pinky and ring much more like that, right?
Yeah.
So from here, I can move much more freely, and I have the flexibility of my entire wrist to go wherever I need to, versus being like this and putting it all on my thumb like that, right? Because if you're way up here like this, like really close up, using your thumb, it's very awkward to go to X or like go down to Y. Right? You get to like kind of do this kind of thing, like flex your hand out weird. Versus if you're out here already, it's like having your hands floating over your keyboard versus resting your wrists on your desk, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Kind of.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's good to see visuals.
Yeah, that's what I would try. You know what? Let's do you want to just get out of this arena and just try switching your Z button to jump just to have it?
Yeah, let me do that real quick then.
Yeah, let's just get out of this and try it. Because here's the thing. I can say as a human being, I know for a fact that if you were to change your controls, you will very quickly and very easily adjust to them. I know that it's relative to say what is easy and what is quickly, as far as like it could take you a day, it could take you a week, but even that's not bad compared to staying with a, like, let's say suboptimal control scheme and failing to progress for months or years, right? Because it just feels like you don't trust yourself to use the C stick, so now you just don't use the C stick, or you don't trust yourself to use like the Z button for jump or like something else for jump, so you have to like do some like tap jump always, which is gonna just slow you down so much. What I would say, at least for the rest of this session, if you want to keep tap jump on just for the sake of like your own mental health at this point, because you don't want to be SDing for no reason. If you want to keep tap jump on for now, that's totally fine. But in the future, I highly recommend turning it off and just practicing without it. I very, very vividly remember back in Smash 4 when I first turned tap jump off, and I basically wanted to die in real life because I was just SDing like crazy. And it's like, oh my god, I'm like panicking trying to jump, and it's like I'm just literally falling to my death. Like, this is not sick. So
yeah,
I would say just for now, you can keep it on. But I want you to try using the Z button for jump. You can keep R as shield, L as grab. Tap jump can stay on for now. Tilt stick is tilt stick. B special, A is attack still. You can have Y as jump as well. I'm trying to think. I don't really use here's the thing. For me, I actually don't use the X button at all. I only use it as like a short hop there if I'm playing a character that has it. But other than that, I never use it. If there was the ability to turn my X button off, I would. Because it's a very awkward button to go up to, in my opinion. So that's just me.
I mean, you always just like, you know how some people, they just take out the buttons in general?
Yeah.
You always do stuff like that, but you'll get dust and stuff in your controller.
Yeah. And that's the last thing you want. Dusty controller.
What do you mean by that?
I want to show you some stuff too, and you might already know some of this stuff a little bit. But if you, let's say, put your your pinky and ring under your controller. Okay. If you use the Z button for jump, so you have that now, right?
Yeah.
So if you press Z button up or any direction on the C stick, it will give you a automatic short hop rising aerial.
Can you repeat that?
So do C stick in any direction plus Z, and it'll give you a short hop rising aerial.
I did not know that.
So
okay.
That should be life changing right away. So now you don't have to like do like two buttons, then go quickly to the Y button, or not the Y button, very quickly to the C stick. To get like a short hop aerial. It does a macro for you. So if you're trying to do like rising up airs, or like, let's say you want to go like short hop fares towards me, like the way that I'm doing it towards you right now is I'm pressing the control stick towards you, and then the C stick towards you, and then Z at the same time as the C stick, and that's how I get this. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
And if you want to do like raw back airs, same thing. I'm going to like dash towards you, turn around, and then press towards you with the C stick and the Z button and get a raw back air. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So this will make you so much faster and so much more consistent. And on top of that as well, you'll be able to use your your control stick to control your aerial drift a lot more consistently. So if I want to like fade back with a fair, I can press towards you with the C stick and then back with the control stick and fade back, right?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But as a whole, this is one of the most optimal and easy ways to play the game, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
how does this feel as far as a stretch or your ability to do this at all?
I feel like I can do it, but I could tell you, like, I could tell I won't be playing, like, best of 10 with anybody type of thing. Like,
It'll take time.
Yeah, it'll take time.
So I can say this too, and this is why I'm very confident in your ability to be able to do this, is because when I was learning how to play Call of Duty, like specifically Warzone, I switched my control scheme 4 times.
Really?
So the first time I had tactical, then I had bumper jumper, then I had stick and jump or stick and move, and then I had a scuff controller. So it's different setups every single time, and with the scuff I had extra buttons on the back, so I had to readjust to this multiple times within the course of like 2 months. Now it's been well over 2 years I think at this point, and I'm totally fine with the scuff controller, and it's like the other things that didn't even exist, didn't even matter. So for you, once you get comfortable, you can go into the training room and practice just jumping around and spacing aerials and doing like raw back airs and like up airs and stuff like that, raw up airs, whatever you like. Try to like space down airs, right? Just going for pokes. And then once you get the timing down, the hardest thing for you after that is going to be not reverting or panicking and playing the way that you did before.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where turning tap jump off will basically force you to switch, because if you try and panic and do a tap jump, let's say rising fair or up air or something, it won't work, right? Which is a good thing. It's a good thing because it's technically a bad habit to use multiple different buttons to try and do the same thing. That's why I don't recommend to people having like 2 grab buttons, 2 shield buttons, multiple jump buttons, like 3 jump buttons, for example.
Oh, yeah,
right?
you're right.
So having 2 jump buttons for the macro, that's fine. But if I had like Y is jump, Z is jump, and tap jump is jump, and sometimes I just randomly do whatever feels right, that's how you get very bad habits. So
Yeah.
you want to try and stay away from that for sure. So we can play this out. I don't really care about how you do. I just want you to play how you would play and just see how it feels, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty. Now I have to kill you. Unless... Okay, she's different.